Marcus Faragon from the Diecast Racing News here at the Elevation Trail of Lake Ridge Heights, and I'm joined by Randy Cooper, lead hand for recovery and maintenance here at the Heights. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me. I know you're a busy guy.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, bud.
First off, I have to ask, there has been some controversy as of late with regards to the Best in Show award. What's being done to ensure a fair process is being adhered to?
Well, it was supposed to be a fan vote, so whoever gets the most fan votes is going to win Best in Show.
And what are your thoughts on one of the Best in Show candidates being deliberately pushed over the side of the trail by a member of your crew?
Well, that was most definitely an accident. Nobody on my crew would ever do something like that.
And how many people work on your crew?
There's only two. There's me and there's Eddie. Oh, geez. I gotta go. Get well soon, Snake.
Well, the controversy continues here at the Elevation Trail. For the latest information on Vandamonium or any diecast related event, check out the Diecast Racing News on Facebook or the DRN. I'm Marcus Faragon, signing off.
I knew Randy didn't like the spotlight, but geez.
The accountability's on him, so all complaints can be forwarded to Randy Cooper at the Elevation Trail.
Let's not throw anybody under the van just yet. We have scores to recap.
Last time was very underwhelming, yet again, as drivers struggled to get their vans to behave. N-Count still has a tight grip on the number one spot. Well, unfortunately, we got a new leader in the race to the bottom, as Walter the Baby Mammoth was only able to squeak out a record-setting low of 5 points. I also noticed you locked your doors last week. You scared for some reason?
I just prefer the new car smell over new poo smell. We've got 3 more groups ready to go, so let's see who's up first tonight. Group 1 gets going with Vinny Nightlife and his 80s Ford Econoline. He's joined by Sam Hall from Team DRT3K in the Ram Jam. And they'll take on Ironhide, a 1986 Toyota van from Ross Sungod Racing. I do love my 80s Transformers references. Let's go up to the top of the trail for race 1. When Ross Sungod comes out and proves he's more to meets the eye than what that Ironhide van looks like, he hip checks Sam Hall so hard that he drives right into Vinny Nightlife, ending their lap prematurely. But I guess Raw forgot that he's got the second half of the course to go, and after the jump, he throws his van into the rocks. That sets him flying in actually quite the spectacular fashion. But as much as we appreciate the highlight reel crashes, that ain't gonna get you points to put on the board.
Bit of a rough start for these fellas. Let's go up to the top of the hill for race 2.
And again, as soon as the gate drops, Ross Sungod goes after Sam Hall and pits him into the boards. Unfortunately for Ross Sungod, his top-heavy van tips over in front of Sam Hall, stranding them both before the jump. Vinny Nightlife, on the other hand, seems to just be out for a Sunday cruise as he's stalled up just after the 2-line.
Sam Hall and Ross Sungod seem to be scrapping it out while Vinny Nightlife is I don't know what.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting from Sam Hall this whole time. Ross Sungod wheelies out of the gate, but he's not impeding Sam Hall, which gives him a free course and a free line to the finish. As Ross Sungod and Vinny Nightlife dance up at the top of the trail, Sam Hall makes no mistake in grabbing a crucial 11 points and taking this last race. We will have to see whether or not that last final push by Sam Hall is too little, too late, or just in time.
Sam Hall makes his push for the second round, but he's just going to have to wait and see how his score stacks up against the rest. I think if Sam Hall didn't have to deal with Ross Sungod beating on him for 2 laps, he probably would have ended up higher on the scoreline, but right now his 16 sees him tied with 5 other drivers. On the other end of the leaderboard, Vinny Nightlife matches what Scoob put up, and Ross Sungod didn't do much better. He only scored 11.
Where Moving on to Group 2. First up is Lone Star from Live Young Diecast in his super van going up against Tortoise King from Polk County in his Econoline, going up against Scotty from Neckel Racing from Luxembourg in his Econoline. It's a Ford fan duel tonight right now in Group 2. Let's go up to the top of the trail for Race 1. The vans are struggling again by the looks of it. Lone Star and the Tortoise King make hard rights as soon as the gate drops, and it's Scotty who gets punished by Lone Star as he is a little bit ahead of him but gets pitted, and that spins him out before the jump. Scotty tries desperately to maintain control, and he's able to back it into the gap in the course, so that'll at least score him 5 points. It's going to be a tough night on the course for these guys if they can't strap their boots together.
And just like in Group 1 tonight, Lone Star, the Tortoise King, and Scotty need to do something special if they want to try and make a push for the second round.
Hey, Scotty, I don't want to alarm you, but I think you lost a wheel.
And again, as soon as the gate drops, Tortoise King pulls a hard turn right into the guardrail like he's trying to escape the track or something. Meanwhile, Lone Star gets another good body shot in on Scotty just before the jump, but that unsettles both of them and actually makes Scotty's wheel fly off this time. If I didn't know any better, I'd think that Lone Star was getting driving tips from Scott Stevens of the New Jersey Devils. We've never seen a car break mid-race before at the Elevation Trail. We might just have to establish another award for best body check, because Scotty's definitely going to be feeling this one after the race.
After 2, Scotty's in the lead with 10, but I don't know how much more punishment his van can take.
Hey, Scotty, the guys in the shop are getting your stuff ready so that we can get you back up to the top of the trail and ready for Race 3. We don't know if this quick patch is going to last.
Nope, it didn't last. Scotty definitely drove the wheels off his van tonight. Mind you, he had a ton of help from Lone Star in making that possible. Tortoise King must have had some issues with his steering rack as he cuts hard into Lone Star, and Lone Star tries to make a break for it but is getting chased down by Scotty's wheel. I can only imagine how unsettling it would be to look in your rearview mirror and have this wheel come flying at you from out of nowhere. It's like a crazy movie where a sentient wheel all of a sudden starts attacking people.
Unbelievable. I didn't think it was possible, but Tortoise King has matched what Walter put up last episode to tie him in last place.
Hey, Scotty, to be honest with you, I don't think that long haul from Luxembourg did you any favors.
The van woes continue, and I'm starting to wonder whether or not Ajax was right. Lone Star lands in 18th place with his 14, and Scotty's right behind him at 19th with his 13. And at the other end, the Tortoise King lives up to his namesake as he only puts up 5, which matches him with Walter for the lowest score and the lead for the Yellow Snow Award.
We've got one more group to go, so let's introduce them. We've got Marcus Fireground from Snow Valley Racers driving the news van, going up against Bolo Brown and his Monster Dairy Delivery, and they'll be taking on the Canadian Postal Service with Jacques driving for Stupid Fish Racing. I really hope Jacques finished his route before he started racing. For the last time tonight, let's go up to the top of the hill for Race 1. And Marcus lets Bolo know he's there by turning right into him midway down the top half of the course. Jacques, on the other hand, looks like he's a fish in a fishbowl sloshing around back there as he flounders around, struggling to control that Grumman van of his. Marcus and Bolo joust all the way to the jump, and Marcus actually gets in front of Bolo but wipes out just at the 7 line. Bolo seems to be the only one with a little bit of car control as the other two are upside down.
Scores are a little bit more respectable after race 1. Let's go back up to the top of the hill for race 2.
Hey, Mr. Jacques, did you mail my letter to Santa? It's still HOHOHO, right?
And Marcus is on a mission to create news by the looks of it. The gate drops and he turns into Jacques, and Jacques just explodes as soon as he gets touched by Marcus. Marcus then sets his sight on Bolo as it's a drag race to the jump. That's a race Marcus wins by a half van length, but upon landing, Marcus makes a beeline for Bolo, but Bolo, sensing Marcus coming at him, puts himself up and over to, I guess, avoid the hit. Talk about living up to your namesake of making news happen.
Marcus Fargon and Bolo Brown are taking this thing down to the wire. They're tied on 13 going into race 3.
Remind me not to ship anything fragile with you guys.
The driver with the best lineup coming out of the gate is Jacques. Marcus Fargon gets a bit of a run on, but then gets tagged by Jacques, which unfortunately unsettles Jacques. And as Marcus hits the jump, he's sideways because of that tag. That sends him for a barrel roll, as landing sideways on that jump is never how you want to land it. There are packages in that mail van, and Bolo's just chilling up at the top.
This group made some news happen. Let's see how their end scores stack up against the big board.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna do with all these packages. Might have to get Santa to come and collect them.
And with a couple of highlight reel moments, Marcus Fargon actually cracks the top 5 with his score of 19. Bolo Brown checks in at number 18 with his 15 points, and Jacques will have to settle for 29th as he only put up 8. Points sure do seem tough to come by as of late.
It's kind of like Christmas, only there's no tree, and the packages are wet and soggy and broken.
Well, that certainly was something.
You got that right. Between a van breaking, packages spilling, and a tortoise keeping a mammoth company in last spot, how are we ever going to make it up for the viewers next week?
Randy better have something magical under his hat. That's all I gotta say. Join us next week as we conclude the opening round of the Vandamonium, hopefully with a little more exciting results. That's it for tonight.
Thank God.
Really?
Well, it couldn't have gone much worse.
No positive takeaway.
Just the fact that the opening round's almost done.
And on that note, I've been your host, 905.
And I'm Indy Rain. We'll see you again next time.
I'd like to set up an interview with that mammoth, too. Anyone else notice how many animals there are around here?